What I like best is these referral record sharing programs, and there's at least 15 to 20 out there. Does anybody know what this picture represents? Black hole. That's my patient who got referred to me last year, and he still hasn't found his way through to my office. And what else I found was that I would call up some of my referring doctors and say, you know, Al, is everything okay? I haven't sent a patient in a while. It's been about 6 months. And he said, yeah, as a matter of fact, I gave out at least 8 of your referral cards. Patients weren't motivated enough or whatever and never came in. And yet I thought there was something wrong with the relationship. So what I like about these programs is the day that they get referred, that information is sent to my office. So we don't have the lost hole, the patients getting in the black hole. We get to inform each other about their progress. I don't know if it happens to you, but it happens to me where a patient cancels that exam appointment, but meanwhile the dentist thought they were coming in, so they think they're in my office. I've had the complaints a year. We send that patient to the periodontist and we never see them again. Maybe it's just in New York that we hear that, but so this eliminates that, because what we do is we right away tell them, oh, the patient's been rescheduled, we move them on. Or, so we're giving them constant communication. The information's there immediately. If I do a surgical procedure, that information is there in 30 seconds. They can actually call the patient and say, oh, how'd the surgery go? And the patient's like, wow, this is amazing that you knew what's going on. There's a great audit trail. And it's in collaborative cases that we're working on, complex cases that are going back and forth, and there's an orthodontist, a periodontist, and sometimes a surgeon and prosthodontist involved. This information can be shared all around. It's open 24/7. I like to do my reports sometimes early in the morning. Some people are late at night people. That information is there all the time. It's on my cell phone. It saves time. We're now with our hygienist. We're sending reports very easily. So the hygienist finishes a procedure. She can go on the software, enter a few bits of information, or copy and paste it from the dental management software, and it's there in their office. We can connect with our laboratories, and we even have our implant reps connected through these programs. Now we come to the challenges. This takes effort. My staff has to use it all the time. The referring doctor's staff has to use it all the time. So we have to work with them and train them and develop with them how to use it. It's very easy. It's right on their desktop, but it still takes one more step. And there's some costs involved. And it's another software to monitor. Okay. Yeah, we're going to go through that right now. iConfident went out of business then. So what did I do? And I'm now up to about 15. The last year and a half, my team and I went through different softwares to see what we liked. And there are a lot that are specific to dentistry, and there's a lot more programs out there. So these are the ones that we looked at. The ones I spent the most time was on Record Link, Referral MD, Cloud DDS, Leading Reach, Bright Squid, Patient Links, and PDHS Collaborator. Those are the ones I narrowed down to first go around. iConfident was mentioned. The challenge with iConfident, they only had 14 offices using it, and I think they recently closed down because their software was strictly limited to implant information. From this, how did I choose? Number one thing was I wanted the staff to be able to use it and like it. So what we did is we beta tested 4 softwares with our referring doctors and their team and said, how do you like using it? Is it easy to use? The other part that I liked there's a few software companies that integrate with their dental management software, and that makes it a lot easier to use. How does it function? And then cost. That was my criteria. This was all the criteria that I listed, and this will be in your handout if you want to do your own investigation. Number 1 was HIPAA compliant, easy to use. How do I take the x-rays? Do I drag and drop them? Do I just upload them? If I have this software, how many dentists can I use this with? If I have a referral form, can it be customized? How does it communicate? Emails, How many administrators can I use per office? Is it real time? And what file sizes can we have? Can I send a CAT scan? Can I send a DEX file, because we use DEXs? Or do I have to use it as a JPEG? Can I use it on a tablet? How easy is it to set up, and do I have to have a long contract? So I ask a lot of questions. Does my lab, can they be on it? And can we get different passwords? And how long have they been in business, and how many clients? So that's what we went through, and some more. How secure is it? Where is that information stored, and will they train me and my referring doctors? A website widget is something on your website which allows a referral right through your website. And how easy is it to take that information in and out of my own software? Integration, and how does it look? What's the appearance? So this is basically how most of these software works. There's a dashboard, and on this particular software, which is RecordLink, which is the system we've been using now for a year, you see there's different, on the left column, you see there's an inbox, profile, patients, colleagues, appointments, and reports. And so you go right on here. The first thing you do is you create your list of doctors you work with. You can go through database, pick all your referring doctors, and then you create an easy list to refer. So on my end, I have all the general dentists and specialists I refer to. On the general dentist side, they have my offices to refer back to. Pick out who you want. You can send a referral this way. Or you can create a patient list. So this particular software does integrate with 8 of the major dental softwares and brings the patient list right into this software. So all you have to do is find the patient, and on the right side you hit refer patient. So you hit refer patient, and that's all it takes. Very easy. You also then pick out what you're referring them for. In this case it was periodontics. Then it could be maintenance, scaling, whatever you want. There's a box on the bottom for other. You hit that, and then it sends a notification to the patient, which then has your website, your information, directions to your office. So this is pretty automatic, pretty seamless. Makes life a little easier for the administrative team at the front desk. They don't have to go through directions, right? And the other thing that gets sent to my office is the referral. So I get a note that says that this patient has been referred to my office, and I can then click the link, log in, make a note of it, or my staff usually does this instead of me. And I can then go in and hit respond. This case is saying treatment was completed, and here's the photos, but normally I'd say the patient's been appointed for an appointment, such and such date and time. Very easy to track plans. This is similar to iConfident. And what I like about this is we can update either direction, meaning my office or your office will say what part are we up to, so you constantly know what stage of treatment the patient's in. And you have a history of every referral. Those of us who like reports, we can go into the report area. Most of these softwares have this, and you can see which patients. So if you're on the phone with your dentist, you can go on and say, let's go over these cases now, and we have a whole list of patients. It's all in one location. Here's all the information. You also get, most of these softwares give you your own profile, and with that, patient right on your website, you can put this on, and the dentist can go into your website instead of online through their desktop and refer a patient that way. So I also evaluated these programs. I don't want to sound too biased. Leading Reach had a lot of information. The staff people felt it was too challenging to work with. Just giving you our feedback. Colin.
Is that networkable?
Yeah, is it networkable?
So,
you can access it from any computer in the office.
from any room.
From any room. Another one was PBHS Collaborator, and this was the first one that I used about 8 years ago. They now have an updated program. This is a very well-written program as well. RecordLink is the one, and they have a booth here at the meeting, and they integrate with all of these softwares that you see here. And I think they have more now. So that was the selling factor for me and my team and my referring doctors, that it integrates. Cost, and we looked at Bright Squid as well. Costs vary. I think it's about $350 a month for unlimited. Bright Squid is I think it's $100 a month, but it is limited. Found that to be very, very cumbersome. It is a popular software. So my message today is not keeping track of patients could result in loss of income. And how do I solve that? So when we get a patient referred, now we really know they were referred. So instead of that referral card a year and a half or 3 years later, I know they were referred now. And then what we do is we have to deal with our referring doctors. If they don't call in 24 hours, my office calls them. By just doing that one thing, calling those patients the day after they're referred, we get a lot of those patients in. Instead of it being 3 or 6 months later, they're back in your office. Did you go see Farber? Oh no, things happen and go. We don't have that happen anymore. Yes? Now, the way the model of this company works, and most of them work, is the specialist purchases the software, and the general dentist can as well, but the specialist purchases multiple licenses, and so it's free to the general dentist. So the bottom line is you're responsible for managing your patient information and doctor connection. The HIPAA police may be coming to a neighborhood near you very soon. And be careful what you tell patients. As a periodontist, I have to cite some works, feel obligated. I want to thank everyone for being here and for your participation. I'll be around.